Today on the Winning with Shopify podcast.
Was it 50,000 reviews, he said?
Yes.
That's what you need to be asking, not how did you get here?
It's absolutely crazy.
Yes, it's ChatGPT now instead of Google or Bing, but nothing's really changed.
People hate Amazon, and I get it.
Every time someone lands on, that's your most viewed product, but 90% of people that land on it jump back and go on another product.
We would ask a similar question. Why would you shop with us?
I would be lying if I've never been slapped on the wrist by trading standards and ASA.
Why do people leave? It's normally because you've given them a reason to leave.
How do you do it then without, I think everyone's sitting there with their pencil going, well, what have you done? Like, what has been the strategy?
This is not rocket science. Don't try and do everything because you're never going to be able to. Don't stress.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Winning with Shopify podcast. If you've never tuned in before, I'm sitting in a real room with a real person today rather than talking over video, which is very exciting. Before we get into today's episode, please hit the subscribe button, leave us a little review on any platform you're listening to. Massive plug as well to Spotify, and it is to Shopify. We're a Shopify podcast. To Spotify and also Apple Podcasts, please review us on those platforms. We need to get more reviews to get more views. We're getting loads of views across other channels as well. If you're listening to this and going, this sounds great, how do I watch, Nick? Go and check out our YouTube channel. We can also show you the video on Spotify as well if you want to go and sign up there. But today I'm delighted to be joined by Matt from Green People. Matt, welcome. How are you?
Hello, I'm very good. And yourself?
Good, yeah, very good, thanks, very good. It's absolutely freezing as well, and we've just turned the heating off because it's noisy. So if we start shivering, you know why. But Matt, if people haven't heard of Green People or come across your brand, your products before, tell us a bit about Green People as an organisation and also a bit about your role in the team as well.
Sure. So yeah, Green People are an organic and natural skincare brand, sun care brand and hair care brand based in the UK. The brand's been going a long time. It's been going for 28 years now. It was founded all of that time ago by a lady called Charlotte, who still is there today as CEO.
Wow.
So a founder-led business, which is one thing I actually love about it. Green People was created to make products for people with skin concerns, mainly sensitive skin, but it's also great for lots of other things. Our sun care, for example, is amazing for people with prickly heat. So it's really, really great working in a sector where you genuinely can actually make a difference as well. I, as you can probably see, did not come from a beauty background. I've been working for Green People.
Say that.
Well, it's all right. We can be modest. So I've been there for about 4 years now. And I have to say, when I came into the beauty industry as a start, there was part of me that thought all beauty products are just going to be the same. They're just in a different bottle. And I'm happy to say I was actually wrong. And it's been really, really eye-opening being there for those 4 years and actually seeing the amount of help it can give people. We've now got over 50,000 five-star reviews, which is pretty cool. And actually, when you meet the people face to face, which I also love doing, it's amazing to hear the stories. So the brand, honestly, I would say check it out. It's a really, really great brand. And if anyone suffers from sensitive skin, eczema or anything else, we pretty much have a product for everyone, right from a baby's range through to an anti-aging range. So my role at Green People, I'm head of digital there. So that means that I look after the e-commerce site, obviously the Shopify store that we're based on.
I've heard of it, yep.
Yeah, me too. Outside of that, I also oversee our marketing team, I oversee our creative team, and I also have the joys of working with Amazon as a marketplace as well.
God bless Amazon,
Let's not go there today. But it's a great role because it covers a lot of different areas and we get to do a lot of really cool stuff in the business.
Amazing. I'm going to pick up on something. I'm going to dive straight into the details here. Something that when we first spoke, we obviously had you talk at one of our meetups in London recently as well, back in September it would have been. And something that struck me then, you mentioned it when we spoke on the phone, on the website as well, is people are at the heart of your business and the customers are those people. You could have gone into detail about the products and how they were developed and everything else, but actually you're talking about the use cases, which really speaks to what every sales mantra is always that the features tell and benefits sell. And actually, you guys are talking about that benefit and how it changes people's lives. How do you tell those stories? Like on some of the ground level, how do you bring that through a web page, through an advert, through an email campaign? How do you bring those stories across to encourage more people to want to get involved in the business?
It's a great question, and also one that most brands in the beauty industry can't do. We're actually in quite a unique position where we have all of these testimonials, and actually we've been guilty about not pushing them enough because actually if you do take our products, you could start going into details of every single ingredient, for example, that's in there, and exactly why we formulated it, how we did. We could go into great amounts of detail, and that's fine. But there's no empathy to that. That's not personal. And actually, when you're suffering from a skin condition, it's deeply personal. And actually, we have been guilty before when we have ignored that. In recent years, we've really been trying to go back to that. I think we became a bit too formal and a bit too informative. And I think we probably lost that personal side because actually as a brand, for example, if you meet our founder, huge personality, the team, great personalities. And I think we lost that a bit. So one thing we have been trying to refocus in on is telling that customer story. In the age we're at now, we're finding video is an amazing way to do that. Especially with Shopify now, there's some great apps, for example, out there that now mean you can do that on your store without having your web agency shouting at you for the page speed slowing down. So now we're actually able to deploy that. We have worked with a lot of ambassadors and customers over the last year to actually get in their stories by video, because traditionally it was only in text reviews, and we've got plenty of them. And believe me, some of them are amazing, but it's just words. Video has so much power. And also in today's world, people want to consume things differently. So I think the other trick for Shopify stores at the moment is, how do you change your PDP pages, for example? So someone that wants to come in and read about the efficacy and the ingredients can do that. But you've also got one for the 20-something who is used to getting information on the TikTok or the Instagram. How do you actually do both? And also in still pictures, some people don't even want to play a video. How do you also put it there? And then how do you get them all to tie together? So it doesn't feel like you're reading something in a video is a completely different format and taking you in a different direction. But I have to say, I am loving the direction of really going the route of UGC, customer content, whatever you want to call it.
And was it 50,000 reviews, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, incredible. We work a lot with lots of the review platforms, as you know, and it's very difficult to get beyond like the first 500, get into the first 1,000. So incredible. And it speaks volumes about how loyal your customers are, and also the difference you're making, as you said immediately. I want to talk about, again, this was something you mentioned before, and you kind of touched on it here about your customer base. And you mentioned it's someone in their 20s, someone older. Video is consumed in different ways by different people on different platforms, different devices, and also in different places. Like sometimes it's on a billboard, sometimes on a YouTube screen. I joked recently as well, my mum keeps saying, when are you going to be on TV? And more people watch our YouTube of this, a lot of you guys will be watching it now, on their televisions. So we're probably more on TV right now than we are anywhere else for video, which is absolutely amazing. But the question really is, how do you both target and speak to and engage such a broad customer base, from, I assume your products for kids as well, right the way up to the elderly, and how do you talk to that whole audience? Because we talk a lot about niching up, or niche, as they say in the East Coast, but we talk a lot about that and how powerful that is, and you're doing the opposite, but you're doing it really effectively. So how do you do that?
Well, we are and we aren't. So first of all, it's really difficult. It does depend on the scale of the brand. We, in the grand scale of things, are a small fish in a very, very large beauty industry. So we're not able to work with multi-million pound budgets in every category that we have. That would change the business completely, and I would argue probably in a worse way. Because we are smaller, and also we are in a niche, because our products are very highly organic, they're natural products, and they're made for a use case. We're never going to be a mass market brand, and actually we don't want to be a mass market brand. We're very comfortable doing what we do and doing it really, really well. But going back to the ages and the different personas, because we've sat in many marketing meetings and you talk through who's your customer, and you say, well, for which range? And that is what's tricky. And of course, there's data tools galore out there now where you can analyze your demographics, exactly who your customer is. And normally we end up with 5 or 6 different personas, and that makes it really, really hard. But because we need to zone in, we have lots of ranges on e-commerce that are brilliant products, great ranges, but not our main focus day to day. We try and focus into the core of what we do. For us, that's our sun care range. Sun care is a massive product for us. Our skincare ranges as well are really, really popular, especially our fragrance-free skincare. So we take out everything that doesn't need to be in there. All of the essential oils and things that people react to, they get stripped out, and that does incredibly well. And alongside that, our hair care range is increasingly popular. Really, outside of that, we don't give many marketing dollars to anything else, but they get their word of mouth. Also, when people come on our site, having those ancillary products that they can buy alongside our core ranges, it really helps us out. But actually, going back to the original point, we've actually done the opposite in recent years. We were guilty of trying to do everything for everyone, and actually it was getting very fragmented. So I think if you're on limited budgets, you do have to focus in and go, what is the core?
Hey guys, I just want to take a moment aside from today's episodes to introduce one of our amazing sponsors, Covella. They are the all-in-one platform that helps you design, sample, and launch your product lines. Covella are helping Shopify brands save up to 40% on stock costs thanks to their smart, streamlined supply chain. That means more profit for you, less costs, and loads of time saved in trying to get stock on your shelves. Right now, you can fast-track their waiting list and get 50% of your first sample order just by using the code WINNING at checkout. This is an exclusive offer for Winning with Shopify podcast listeners. Just go to the link in our description or in our bio to unlock the savings and skip the queue. You build your brand, save on stock, and step into the future of e-commerce with Covella. That code again, WINNING. Back to the episode.
And as a PPC SEO agency, we're pitching somebody at the moment as office furniture, and they've got 48,000 SKUs. And they're like, what's the lowest budget we can start with? And we're like, there's a complete oxymoron going on here of like, you've got tens of thousands of products with SKUs, and then they come in different sizes. You get a discount if you buy more than one. Like there's this kind of oxymoron, but we want to start as low as possible. So we've done exactly that and gone, we're going to hedge our bets on these three ranges. We only need one to work well to start moving budget into that and move forward, and then we can start testing other things. But I love what you say about the core products bringing people in. And then actually you've got all these other products in the bigger, wider range, so people start adding those things in, because we find it so often that like a brand has maybe 3 products and you're about to buy one, so it tries to shove the other 2 down your throat. It's very different to have if you're buying this, then why don't you browse some other ranges, because there's quite a big range here, but we're going to solve that eczema problem that you've come in for initially, or whatever the first question is. So how do you guys do that with Shopify, using like as some sort of AI to promote products, or again, you mentioned apps and page speed, like man after my own heart. That's I'm preaching that every week. But,
oh God, it gets mentioned every day. The honest answer is, I think that side of things is really evolving. So I feel that side of Shopify tech is going to move forward massively in the next 1 to 2 years.
We're releasing updates on AI. I do a Tuesday Tea Break Talks, and every week there's new AI updates to Sidekick and stuff that's going on. So
it's absolutely crazy, and we're starting to see demos now with tech that we're like, okay, this could be game changing, but I don't think it's quite there yet. There is personalization, and AI is everywhere. We've been using AI in reality for like 10 plus years, just in different forms. But from a personalization point of view, how do we do that? It's again, at the moment, it's great difficulty. I'm sure within, say, 12 to 24 months, we would love, for example, for anyone dropping onto the website to actually straight away be saying to them, what is your skin goal? Because then it's not about selling more products. It's actually about us going, you don't need to see these things, because actually that wouldn't be right for you. To simplify things, we've taken 150
it's like the
products.
opposite of recommendations. It's
Exactly.
Don't look at any of that.
And I wish we could do that. And the problem we have at the moment is, until we have that first party data, we're not able to do that. And also we're in a world where a lot of people don't trust people gathering data. And I understand that, because there's been some horrific stories that have come out. But from genuine companies, actually it really can benefit the experience. Because I would have thought within 24 months, when you go to a website like ours, it's going to ping a question straight to you, even though I hate pop-ups. I absolutely despise them. I think on this circumstance, I would allow it. Because actually then we could tailor the whole website based on that.
Absolutely. And we've seen like the questions, or even turning a e-commerce site into a search engine be really effective. We actually had 3 clients in the same year, but it's probably about 2-3 years ago now, 3 clients in the same year try and convert like the header of their page and certainly the homepage into a search engine. And of the 3, the only one that worked was a pet solution for pharmaceuticals. So there was only one product you could buy, and the question was, do you want 1 pack, 3 packs, or 5 packs kind of thing? It's just the quantity. But because you only wanted that one niche prescription for your pet that had come from a vet, then the only way to get that was to go to that exact product. So the search engine made sense of like, just punch in here what you want, and our search functionality, even if you put typos in, because all the words are really long and complicated, typos, put it in and we'll draw you down to that product, and then you upload the prescription. Even if it was wrong, we'll send you the right one and give you a refund or charge an extra. So they just nailed that service for it. But I love that idea. I agree with you on pop-ups. I went on one of our listeners on the site. I won't mention you by name, so I'm going to call you out here. But one of our listeners to the podcast reached out, and I went on their site. It had to like spin the wheel for like a magical discount. So I got that just to see like, you know, what would happen. So click that, and the wheel span, and we got a little 10% off or something. Then the newsletter pop-up came up. Then live chat came up, and then I opened up the sidecar, and I couldn't check out because the live chat was in the way. And it was like, they would just layer upon layer upon layer. And it was like, I haven't even looked at a product yet. I landed on the site, added to cart, and bang, it was like, and I didn't have a chance to browse or do any of the other stuff. So I hear you on pop-ups. I think one of the things I think stores don't do enough, and it's where having a third party like us or someone in the business just having like a spare laptop that's not logged in anywhere and it's on its own 3G connection. Just use the site as a customer and go, what is my actual experience? And I think the other thing as well, and it'd be good to find out your thoughts on this, is we find that if we've done SEO well, your collections come up well. If we're doing PPC well, your products come up well, which means those are your landing pages. And brands always spend so long on their homepage when actually when you look at the data, it's like most people don't land on the homepage, they hit it later. Between products or between searches or between things. So it'd be interesting to find out from you kind of how you guys tackle that user journey process. Where do you start looking? What data is really key to you?
Yeah, I think it's really changing. So sure, the traditional route a couple of years ago was your homepage needs to be heavily optimized, then they'll go into a category, then they'll go into a product, then they'll go into your cart, checkout and buy. And we're seeing a massive change there. So we're very lucky as a business where GEO or LLMs, they're now starting to play.
AI, if anyone's not heard of that.
Yes, sorry, lots of abbreviation. But that for us now is playing a bigger and bigger part. We've got a huge amount of content on our website. Our blog plays a very large part. We've got well over 400 blog posts, which have been written by a person over many years and is now serving us very, very well. And with that, what we're also finding from the AI tools is we're having to actually now adjust what our other pages look like. Because instead of having to go from homepage to category to product, we're finding the majority now are coming in on product. Not just from AI tools, but from Google as well. So actually one of the projects we've been doing is going, okay, in this world now, what do we need to change on product pages? And this is horrible because we only launched our new site 2 years ago. So we rewrote everything. So you try breaking that to your team and go, actually, guys, should we rewrite it all again? That'll be fun.
We've dropped some bombs before, like on that. It's,
so that didn't go down very well. But in reality, everything now needs to be a lot more conversational.
That's the key.
So the tone needs to be on there. FAQs is becoming so important on product pages now because that can feed the LLMs if you write them hand in hand. And actually, do you know what? Long term, I think it's a benefit because there's fewer steps in the customer journey. They're going to get less confused. And categories are great, but actually, if you've got 10 products in there, they've got 10 products to choose from. Where actually, if they found your product through a search or through AI tools, they're most likely on the right product already. Now, sure, make it easy if they find out they're not to go somewhere else. But actually, if they're in the right place, don't take them somewhere else. Keep them on that page. So if they got questions, serve them up with those questions. But we're seeing some other brands do some amazing things on PDPs. So yeah, that's definitely going to evolve the next 12 months.
I think one thing that's really interesting with AI though is it does a lot of that site browsing for you, doesn't it? You give it your criteria. And it goes, okay, there's 8 products, but actually 6 of them I'm going to knock off already. There's between these 2, and this one's probably the preference. So I'll say that back. And it's like it's actually knocked out that, as you say, yes, it used to be like home, collection, product, collection, product, collection, product. It just kind of keep flicking around. Whereas now it drives you straight into the product. What I love though, like you were sort of saying, is nothing's when you're looking from like an SEO point of view. Yes, it's ChatGPT now instead of Google or Bing, but nothing's really changed. It's still we want the best product or website coming up, number one for the specific thing they're looking for, which I think is a really, really important point. Something we found that AI is starting to help with, and I think there's going to be a duplicate content issue down the line on SEO for this, having multiple versions of PDPs, is where, and a PDP is a product page. I'm trying to remember that lots of people are like, I might start a shop and watch this as much as we've been working in this for decades. But I think one of the things that's going to change with PDPs a lot is really good brands have so many USPs, which one do you push? and where do you put them on the page, which is where actually AI or personalized pages. So if ChatGPT can send in somebody to the same PDP, or you've got 10 versions of it, like I said, which is going to cause some duplicate content problems in SEO, but if you've got multiple versions of it, ChatGPT or the AI bots, they are able to pull out the piece of content that's relevant to that user in that space for the thing they want. Because some will buy on warranty, some will buy on price, some will buy on the output, some will buy on the reviews, some will buy on the size of the pot because they've only got a small shelf in their bathroom and there's only so much space. So actually, if it came in a 50 mil instead of 200 mil, that's actually good for us because I'll just keep buying the 50 mils. There's all these random things. And you as a marketeer, you and I have this problem of which one do we put at the top? When you see the product image and the price, what comes next? True. What's the first thing to push? So you guys must have the same thing where there's so many USPs and it's like, we push that one, ROI's higher, but the target group's just totally changed. Yes. We need to be careful here.
Yeah, it's a massive headache because I think we have even more USPs per product than most because there's so many ingredients, for example. So we could focus easily on 10 ingredients on one product. Okay, but which one comes first? And you could argue, well, for that skin condition, it would be this one, for that, it would be that. And everything from certifications, what's most important? Is it being organically certified? Is it that we're vegan certified? Is it cruelty free? Is it that we're gluten free? Oh, actually, by the way, we're alcohol free.
You could fill the whole mobile screen with just those.
And we have.
And the one that's important, people now don't pick out because there's too many. It's like,
So we try to be led by the data as much as possible because actually, the more we do that, we're finding it's really helpful because also, especially when you've got so many people internally who know, for example, the founder, how she's formulated the product. Now, that's great. And what she formulated it for, it works incredibly well for. But actually, what are the customers saying about our product? So we do a lot of review mining, for example, and when we have got the reviews we've got, that becomes actually very, very useful. And
you've probably got enough to see trends as well, which a lot of brands don't.
Absolutely, and it's fascinating because there's things that come out in those reviews that we now bring into our PDP pages because actually that's our customers being our biggest fans saying lovely things, sometimes the odd negative thing, but mainly positive.
You can deal with that though, better that you know.
Exactly, 100%. But actually we've had some lovely surprises in there where actually when we've seen certain things, we've gone, well, hang on, it's not formulated for that. And you have to go, guys, they're complimenting you, right? So actually they've said you've done a great job. So
really helps with lubricating the engine of my car, and it's like, no, it's for faces.
Exactly. But also post-purchase surveys we found great for this because you can now tailor your post-purchase surveys based around, say, what range of product they bought, for example. Are they a new customer? Are they an existing customer? And we found, again, not just being data-led, because that is a dangerous game. You do have to have a balance in the middle. But if you're not being at least led by data, I think you're going to struggle to get it right because then you'll just create something in your own perception that's correct and not necessarily what your customer actually wants to see and not necessarily what they're actually going to buy.
Agreed. I mean, we could do like 20 episodes on what you've just said.
Yes,
there's so many to pull out. I want to touch on one because it made me laugh, was the post-purchase survey. I'm a very devil's advocate in my personality. So whenever I see a post-purchase survey on a website when I'm buying, and I'll be buying a lot over the next few weeks, it's Black Friday. But whenever I see one and it says, how did you find us? I'm like, someone doesn't know how to use GA4. And it's like, whenever I see that, I'm like, that's the one question I think you don't, like there's very little data available as to why someone bought stuff. That's what you need to be asking, not how did you get here? Because you know that, or we can get 70, 80% attribution, even with all the cookie policies ticked, to the hills and back, and the EU's happy, and all this. But the post-purchase surveys, there are so many more questions. As you say about personalizing them, such a smarter way of doing it, saying like, did you buy this because A, you have a skin condition, B, you've been told to buy it, C, your GP told you to come. That information is absolutely crucial because we know they did a Google search or we know they've come through a TikTok ad or whatever. But I mean, what kind of data do you get from that you're like, actually, this was an unforeseeable outcome that actually we're going to change something we're doing now? Are there any examples that pop to mind? Or?
Sure, there's one great one we've got at the moment where we're a natural and organic brand. So what does natural and organic mean to you?
I was going to say,
because we use that term all the time. And whenever we've done previous surveys, we would ask a similar question. Why would you shop with us? And naturally, we are a natural and organic brand, so it's not going to be a shock that comes right at the top. But what are they trying to achieve with natural and organic? Are they doing it for the environment? And sure, it ticks that box. Are they doing it because they've learned that's better for their skin. And there's numerous other reasons. And that's been really interesting because actually you can take a very broad phrase that of course we have to advertise for because we do that, but actually getting under the skin of what that means to different people, that is really, really interesting.
Yeah, fascinating. And I mean, something we read the other day was like, I think it was we've got a 7-month-old girl at home who I need to go and pick up after we've recorded this. Reminds me, but she needed something, and we saw like the word organic off the back of a product, and I sort of said to my wife, I was like, and my wife's a doctor, so I was like, what does that mean to you? And she goes, it means it's made like this, and gave me like this massive medical list of like to say that in a medical product, and I was like, what? I was like, I had no idea. She's like, what does it mean to you? And I was like, better. It's like, being really, really just crude about it. I was like, better. Organic sounds like it's made from natural plants rather than chemicals. And she goes, no, it's from organic chemicals. And I was like, what does that mean? And she was like, but this is why they don't go into detail, is people like you wouldn't understand. But she obviously as a doctor understands the medical trials and things. So I think the definition of stuff is fascinating. And that's where that communication with customers, where you need to do the qualitative stuff, because you've got the data on where they went, what they did, you use your Hotjar Clarity to see how people used your website and see when every time someone lands on, that's your most viewed product, but 90% of people that land on it jump back and go on another product, or we should stop selling it or get rid of it. That's the quantitative data, but the qualitative stuff. Do you guys run lots of feedback surveys? Is it mostly the review content you farm? Do you have a really good connection as the marketing head of marketing? Do you connect really well with the customer service team to see what's being said on the phones, over emails, that kind of thing? Like, how do you tie all of that together?
Again, in a team of our size, it's a real challenge. And are we perfect? No. But are we trying to do it in a much more jointed way? Absolutely. I think there was thinking about probably 5 years ago, I've been in e-com for too long now, that you had separate teams. So marketing was one team, and you had e-commerce team, and you had your customer care team, and they all do their own thing. And it created so many companies, and I speak to lots of brands who have exactly this, where each department's doing really, really well. But actually, are they all talking to each other? Not really. And now also with the technology, we use, for example, chat on our site. We're also hopefully going to be bringing in NPS scores and things like that soon on the site. And all of those are being brought in to make a better customer experience, because why they all need to be tied together is so key, because in e-commerce, we all spend far too much with Google, Meta, and all the people we don't want to give money to, but we have to. And that's fine. That's life. But at the same time, a lot of brands, including ourselves at the time, have been not good enough at retaining those customers. And the ultimate focus needs to be on that, because then you can spend less dollars, or you can just have more customers, but only if you look after.
Or you can spend more because you know you're going to get the lifetime value on them, which is a powerful place to be.
So one of the focuses for 2026 for us will be increasing that customer experience even more. We know we've got amazing products. Our reviews, I know I keep banging on about them, but for us it's really key. They're there. Our product genuinely works. And in general, our customers are really happy. But can we do more things to go the extra mile? Of course we can. Every brand can. But you also need the tools to deliver that. And that's where I think technology can be used across the teams to kind of join a lot of the dots. And I think just internal communication also is massively key.
Yeah, absolutely. And we actually learned we work half in B2B and half in e-commerce and all the sort of stuff we talk about on the show. But from the B2B world, the biggest thing we've learned is actually saying to the sales team, especially if they only sign like 2 or 3 new deals a month, like super high value, super low volume, they're fantastic. Say to the top sales guys in the team, like, every time you sign a client, can you send us the pitch deck with a 5-minute just voiceover saying, yeah, we spoke about this in the meeting, they really honed in on this slide. And we find all those things are going, well, if we put that on the website, it doesn't actually say that the product or service or tech can even do that. But that's the thing, that 3 pitches in the last 3 months, and you've only signed 9 customers, they've all mentioned that. So that customer service loop, it was actually from B2B that we as an agency sort of learnt that and took that to e-com, going, this was 5 years ago, it's like, we need to read the reviews more, we need to talk to customer service, we need to, and actually going outside of, and I think brands as well, I don't know if you're guilty of this or not, but you get locked into the review platform you're paying. And actually what you need to do is go on Google and put in your brand in speech marks, and then also put minus your domain. So it shows you everything to do with your brand, excluding your website, which then means you can see what people are actually saying about you. So someone will say, oh, Trustpilot score's fantastic, or Yotpo reviews are looking brilliant right now. And then actually when you go onto Google, it's like, well, everyone's moaning about you on this other platform over here. Like FIFO, they hate you. You really hate it. You're not, but it's that kind of thing.
No, we're not,
looking
luckily.
outside of your own sphere is really key, isn't it?
It really is, and also being big enough to take the criticism.
Yeah.
There's many brands that if something's negative, they'll just completely ignore it, where actually it's a huge opportunity because no brand is perfect. Some brands think they are, but they're not. And you can always learn, you can always do things better. And also, especially as technology evolves and comes in, we're opening ourselves up for things going wrong. But actually, unless we're listening when that happens and learning from it, it will just go wrong again. Doing something wrong once is absolutely fine. Doing the same thing twice, that's not good.
Black Friday and Cyber Monday are coming in fast. Is your store ready? You need your marketing dialed in before the big rush, and our sponsor Seguno has everything you need in one place. From emails and pop-ups to reviews and more, Seguno's suite of tools is built exclusively for Shopify, so everything works seamlessly in your store. And right now, with code WWS20, you get 20% off your first 3 months. So don't wait until the chaos starts. Get your Black Friday and Cyber Monday marketing ready today at seguno.com/winning with Shopify. That's seguno.com/winning with Shopify.
So with all of that in mind then, we're talking a lot about the digital world. And I think it's amazing what you guys do in the digital space, but you've not been a digital first business historically, have you? When we spoke before, you said that actually moving more D2C and moving more online and getting more stuff through the website. And we joked just before we hit record about like where the margin is, which is selling more direct.
Sure.
Tell us about some of the early days of your journey and what that transformation's involved, the pain, the success. Yeah, how's it all gone?
Well, I've only been there for 4 years, so I can only talk about the last 4 years. But before I got there, obviously, as I mentioned at the beginning, the company's been going for 28 years. So it's obviously had many evolutions now through that. But especially going back then, it was hugely reliant on health stores, bricks and mortar stores, wholesale outlets to get it into there, international distributors. There was many avenues of sale. And before e-com became what it is now, brilliant. Because they don't really interfere with each other. If you've got a store in one place and another store in a different town, why does that matter? So it was blissful if you look back. Where now it just doesn't work like that anymore. So for brands like us, which has that legacy, you actually swiftly realise, especially since lockdown, all the e-commerce stores that have come in, you can actually open yourself up too wide because actually what nobody wants is these silly price wars that go on Amazon or eBay where they're all undercutting each other by 1 penny and there's someone selling
come up first in the search and suddenly you got 50,000 orders and then you're a penny too expensive, so you've lost all your orders. It's
and it is also a lot about you've got to look after your brand and the brand perception in the marketplace. And actually, you've got to also remember that if you're selling to a third party, they're not going to love or care for your brand like the brand does itself. So unless you're working with big partners or just really good partners who are on the journey with you, if you change your packaging, they're updating that. They're keeping your RRPs up to date. If there's new ingredients, they're updating it. The descriptions are up to date. But very quickly, especially when you open yourself up to wholesalers and things like that, where anybody can buy your product, suddenly you're looking at it going, well, that information's wrong. Who's selling it? We have no idea. We don't know who these people are. And it's not that they're necessarily doing a bad job. They're just not in the brand like we are. So they've
got a different set of KPIs, haven't they? For them, it's we just need to sell the products and get the margin. It's totally different.
And we also have to be very careful in our market because obviously it is a health product. So we have to be very careful what we claim about the product, and rightly so. We need to make sure that ingredient lists are true, accurate, correct, and we just need to be doing it well. And we recently, over the last few years, we've tried to slim that back. So anybody that sells our product, we want to look at them and go, they are adding something to our brand. Whether they just have new reach or they've got a fantastic online store or they're reaching a new market or a new demographic, whatever that is. Don't get me wrong, I love working with third parties as well, and our B2B team do a really valuable role, and we need to work together again. But at the same time, we've now managed to get back control of our brand, where the information on the internet is of a good quality again. We're working with partners we really enjoy working with, and it does also mean then that there is also a reason to shop with green people directly.
Yep.
Because yes, we've tried to become a digital first company and we have succeeded. We are now a digital first, but it's come at a huge sacrifice over the last years from a business to actually go, okay, we need to change the way we supply, who we supply, and just get the brand integrity across the market that we want to have. And I know the word journey is used a lot, but it really has been a massive journey to achieve that, and a long one. It's taken 24 months to get to where we are today, which is now in a really good and healthy place, working with great partners. So it's to be honest with you, it's been fun but hard.
Which all the best journeys have a challenge. Like
True.
no story starts with and everything was great at the end.
No,
there's always
that's
something
very
in the
true.
middle. But I love what you mentioned. There's two routes I want to go down from this. One is to talk a little bit about the wholesale side, and actually where you guys in marketing might then clash with how someone else is positioning the same product, which I'm sure you've had some instances of that.
No comment.
And then it'd be good after that to talk about what you can and can't say about the product, because some people are thinking of starting a unfortunately competing brand, but that is one of the issues you mentioned, is like someone fills out a small form on Shopify and you've just got a new competitor, and that applies to all of us.
Absolutely.
But on the B2B side, I mean, how much have you come up against like same product, same situation, or actually these guys they've just got the branding wrong, or there's a stupidly pixelated logo of us or something, and like we've certainly put Google Shopping in front of clients before and gone, there's your product in two places, one is you and one's another out there, same price, same picture, different price, different reviews, you charge for delivery, they don't. Like it's a real value loss coming to you. Like
Absolutely.
how do you guys add that value on your own site, and how much do you find products are still positioned as they should be on other retail sites?
So we luckily have a really, really great business-to-business team who are really on the ball with it, to be fair.
Good.
So, and they work now really closely with the people we work with. So it's becoming fairly rare now for us to go on Google Shopping like we used to do and go, oh dear,
this looks horrendous.
And there were times, believe me, we did that.
Yep.
But luckily that's changing. So it's becoming less of an issue. But of course we want those green people customers to come to us and stay with us. And both of those two things have different challenges. First of all, in the acquisition of customer, what you've got to do is also tell people why they should buy your brand at all. What we obviously come up against on if they go to one of our partners is none of those partners obviously only sell green people. They'll be selling our competing brands, and every brand does have its place in the market. But actually what is really, really key is why should they buy green people? And sometimes, like we've been saying in this episode, we are selling to people really either wanting just natural and organic ingredients because they believe it's better for the environment and the planet, or, which is the majority of our customers, they have a skin concern and we can help them fix that problem. We certainly can't guarantee it, and we'll come on to claims in a minute. But from the way we formulated the products, it should most definitely help. So you've got to, I mean, when they come to our own store, we have a much better chance of being able to do that because we are in control of actually being able to surface them with the story of why the brand exists, which is incredibly powerful. And anyone listening to this, I urge them to go and look at that story because it's incredible. But outside of that, because it's not just about the story, it's also about going and why are our products right and who for. And I'd like to think we pretend that that's not for everybody, and we now set out who the product is right for. And actually, if you have that honesty and integrity as a brand, those people are likely to buy. Because actually, we've got a product that works. We've been honest with them and said who it's for. We think we price them reasonably for what they are. So we try and tick all of the boxes of why they would buy. There's also things, of course, that we do, like loyalty schemes, for example, on our website. Like most brands, we do have a subscription offering for people that want subscription. And we try and do everything we possibly can to treat those customers well. Going back to the earlier conversation on customer experience, we're always trying to heighten that and make it better and better and better. Look after those people. And a bit like going to agencies as an example, people always change agencies all the time in our market, whether it's marketing, web agency.
No one ever leaves us, of course, but
never. It's never happened. But agencies have often said to us as a brand, why do people leave? My answer normally is quite simple. It's normally because you've given them a reason to leave. Even if that's because you haven't been proactive, so not necessarily doing something wrong, but there's been some sort of doubt you've managed to put in their mind, which has ended with them leaving. And it's exactly the same with the customer. Actually, if you treat your customers really well, give them product that work, give them the right incentives to come back in a positive way. So you're treating them really nicely and making sure that also they can't just go on Google Shopping and find you 50% cheaper over here, and then they think you're ripping them off.
Which we all do when we're buying a product.
Of course. And look, with AI tools and things like that, we all know how easy it is now to compare around the web. But it's just about treating them well, treating them fairly, giving them a good experience, and then they're most likely to come back. And we do have very good retention rates for that exact reason.
Which, you make it sound so simple, but I think, like I said earlier, like if people go and use their own sites as a customer would, I even said to a brand recently, order some of your own products to your house and use a fake name and do that. And someone's like, oh my gosh, the packaging is so nice in the warehouse. It does not survive the truck. And you're like, well, now you know, get some better packaging. And then one of our clients did that. They ended up saving money on the new packaging solution that was more robust. And customers then started saying like, oh, it's such a great box it comes in. I now use it for a sorting unit in one of my cupboards. And you're like, well, that's kind of, it's got their brand in it. That's kind of cool. And we will put a link in the description, by the way. You mentioned about people coming to see the brand, and we'll put a link to Green People in the description. So check that out, guys. And we'll get you to read it out in a minute as well.
That will help my targets as well. So please buy.
Yeah.
That would be great.
And that'll be a nice little backlink on SEO. We were joking about that earlier, but you actually said, I think a really good point is anyone you work with, you say, link back to us. Because then we get the equity from that. And chances are an agency you worked with 10 years ago will still have the link on there. Because it's like, look what we did. And so you've still got that power there. Let's talk though about the issues when it comes to ad copy and what you can and can't say on your site. I would be lying if I said I've never been slapped on the wrist by trading standards and ASA. And in most of the situations, like, let's wait for them to email. And there's obviously those are the UK governing bodies, so Advertising Standards Authority and Trading Standards. There are several others in the UK, there'll be others in other countries. But what kind of things do you guys come up against where it's like, this is true and we want to say it, but we can't? And versus like, what is the lean process that I imagine you guys have created to go, this is just how we get stuff approved quickly. And if it's a bit by the by or a bit close to the line, here's how we decide.
Well, actually, sometimes frustratingly, but we really don't take that line. We say internally we're too safe. Whether that's true or not is for people to debate, but we very much err on the side of caution. That's how the company has always been. And yes, I think especially in the UK, you have to be incredibly careful of what you say. Take eczema as a prime example. I'll go back to reviews again, look at our reviews, and people will say it's helped cure their eczema. We didn't say that, they said that. But if we said that, that's not just a slap on the wrist, that's just not allowed. So it is treading that line, because at the end of the day, you've got a product to sell. So if you say nothing about that product, no one's going to buy it. But there is a ton of rules and regulations. So it is really important, again, going back to balance and people communicating. If we were just the marketing team sat together and the conversation was, what would we like to say? We could go, well, look at this review, let's say that. And it would be like, no, we can't say that, but that's what we'd like to. So it's a balance.
And you would not believe, we work really closely with Trustpilot, and Seguno, one of our sponsors of the podcast, do reviews. We work really closely with the review platforms to get the most out of them. And one of the things people don't do enough, which is what you've just said, when I say people, brands don't do enough of this, is actually just run a review as your ad. Not enough people do it, and it's totally verified, totally authenticated, and it is so easy. Like, how many hours have you and I spent in rooms with you and your team? I've spent with clients of ours. We're sitting there scratching our heads going, what else can we say about this blooming cup? Like, it's a cup, and we're not selling enough, and we were selling loads, and now we're selling less. Like, what else can we write about it? If someone says like, this cup is the nicest cup to drink out of, and it's just they're using the word nice, which is a terrible marketing word, but it's powerful because it's 5-star. It's from Dave in Watford. Thank you, Dave. You know, like this review of this cup, and those reviews are so important. We found some incredibly big global organisations we're working with where they've got all these reviews, similar numbers to you, with 50,000 reviews. They've got tens of thousands of reviews clocking up, and they've not even integrated them properly into the schema on the website, so they're not in their SEO listings. And also, the review platforms automatically, and this is something you guys can go and check, they upload the reviews automatically into Google Ads, and Google Ads receive that data. And we did a bit of a survey amongst pitches we were doing over the last 6 months, and over half of them were paid for review platforms, and they were not getting those reviews into their ads. The ads weren't coming, the reviews weren't coming across the ads. So they're paying for it, they're not getting it. When we fixed it, ROI just straight up, because it wasn't just here's an ad about some stuff or a product right now. It was, here's a product people love.
Yep.
And so, I love what you say about that. And actually using that kind of does bypass a lot of these rules and laws. Is a really smart way to go. And actually you're saving yourself time and money creating things.
But I think also it's a great point on the fact that we definitely are guilty as a brand of, because we've got so much to say and we want it to look amazing. We've just done a new shoot, so we're like, we must put this out. We need to do video. You always get distracted away from those testimonials and reviews, and you end up making something that looks great. And then you sit in a meeting and there's someone that goes, why haven't we just got review ads?
Yeah.
And part of you wants to go, oh, come on, everyone's got review ads.
We've got to have some creativity.
So, but I use the word balance all the time, and it
Yeah.
is striking that again. But yes, testimonials are so important, and yes, you are allowed to put them out there, but also we've still got to be careful within them that they're not saying something, how incredibly amazing it might sound, that the product might not actually do.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming into land, I want to talk about one last thing, which a lot of brands aspire to do this. You're doing some of this, which is internationalization. Obviously, Shopify Markets has been a complete game changer for businesses. It's created a headache for us in the SEO world because it's like, we're going to use Shopify Markets. They're like, right, href lang tags, languages. We've got to work with some translators. We've got to go back and forth with them going, I get that that's what you call it in Germany, but no one seems to be searching that in Germany, so it's not what they call it. And find the balance, use the word balance again. Find that. Talk us through your internationalization journey. Like, what countries have you launched in? How slow or quick was it? What uptake have you had? What's it like entering basically a whole new world of like, these people don't know us. Like, we need to talk about this.
Yeah, well, a subject we spoke about earlier was having to be the underdog sometimes, because Green People is a completely independent company. We've not got investors. We don't borrow huge sums of money, so we have to do things organically. So when the subject of internationalization comes up, rightly so, at a board level, it's kind of like, and how do we pay for that?
Yes.
So from the underdog mentality, you have to go, okay, well, we can't just go in and throw money at it. There's partly an exciting thought of being able to do that, but actually on the flip side, you've got to do it the hard way, and you've got to think of clever ways to do it. What we've tried to do, mainly focusing on the European market at the moment, is actually go without those millions of dollars to put into it. How can we get our brand seen?
And let me ask you your own question. How do you do it then without, I think everyone's sitting there with their pencil going, well, what have you done? Like, what has been the strategy?
So look, I think and this is not rocket science, but use marketplaces, because it's fine making your Shopify market store, making it look amazing, paying lots of money to get it professionally translated, doing SEO. But if nobody's ever heard of your brand or seen you, you're fighting a losing battle.
Even if you get number one, you get the traffic in, people are like, well, who are these guys?
And if you've got the money to pay a very big influencer to endorse your product, it might be different. We don't have that. So what we've tried to do is an omni-channel approach using marketplaces. So take Amazon, for example, that our team also looks after. That is the biggest shop window you are ever going to have as a brand. And people hate Amazon, and I get it. I've worked with them for a long time and they can be very frustrating. But at the same time, millions and millions and millions of people can get eyeballs on your brand, even if you don't pay for advertising. Of course, more eyeballs if you do, but actually if you optimize those listings, just like you would do with your website, you can get so many people looking at your products, and then funnily enough, your website traffic will start to go up. But what I would say to anyone looking at doing it is take your time with internationalization, because actually it's really hard. Pick a country, not 10. Because again, it's very tempting, especially with Shopify Markets. You could be like, I'll turn on that country, I'll turn on that one. Oh, that looks great.
Never thought about going there. Guilty of that one we were talking about before we hit record.
Well, we won't go there. But I would just say, look, concentrate on one. Unless you've got the team and the investment to go bigger than that, do one really well before you start chasing all of the other countries, because you'll make more money in that one than the 10 you're going to turn off and not do them
Especially
very well.
If you choose an EU country as well. I'm not going to get political today, but if you choose one and they are in the European Union, then actually you take France, Germany, Spain, Italy, there are neighbouring countries that then it's easier to go from France to Germany than it was from the UK to France in the first place, given the currency difference and everything else. The reason I was laughing is, we've got more than one client at the moment going like, guys, exciting news, we're going to launch in Australia. And we're like, that's miles course. I mean, it's literally the opposite side of the world. Like, you know, one of the guys on my board is out there right now, and I message him in the morning when he's about to go to bed, and I message him in the evening when he's just woken up. Is when we're communicating right now. I'm like, why are you shipping products there? And the big other side, I would say, of why is, if you've not fully exhausted what you could do in one country, it doesn't mean you don't go to the next country, but there has to be a reason why that country is going to be more successful than where you are now. I think it does, as you say, the markets make it really easy on Shopify markets. It becomes a vanity project going, we're in 19 countries now. No one buys from 17 of them.
But there's also some horror stories. I know you've got a lot of US viewers, but on the flip side, I've met lots of UK brands going to the US and, for example, not understanding the tax systems and things like that.
Yeah, the sales tax in each state. And...
there's some horror stories. Yeah. So, just do it carefully. Don't just get click happy with the countries. Yeah. Choose it really carefully.
And actually, just on that as well, if anyone missed my episode on Tuesday, this is a really valid point, because on Tuesday I was sharing that actually that Meta and Instagram now, they used to work as an intermediary for you in the States across the US. They don't anymore. You have to pay each state individually as of, I think it was a few weeks ago. So that's changed in America as well. So yeah, and we're not calling out America saying like, oh, it's getting so much more difficult there. Like, if anyone's seen what our government's up to, it's carnage over here. Like,
that could be another episode.
Yes, yeah, and this is going out just before the budget, so we're still happy. We've been sleeping. We'll see what happens. But I mean, look, Matt. So thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you coming on the show. No problem. What is the URL? How can people get in touch with you? What are your social channels? How can people engage and follow the journey and get involved?
So it's simply greenpeople.co.uk, not .com. .co.uk. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, all the usual channels. The last thing I would say is, for people especially trying to launch a Shopify store, don't stress. There is so much going out there at the moment with AI and apps galore. Don't try and do everything, because you're never going to be able to.
And you'll ruin your page speeds.
Exactly, but every other brand is in the same place. So all I would say is try and understand your customer really well, what they're looking for, and develop your site for them.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much, Matt. And for everybody watching at home as well, thanks for tuning in. Again, if you haven't already, hit subscribe, leave us a review. We've been talking about how powerful it is for the brands. We as Winning with Shopify are a brand as well. So please do share the love. Go and subscribe to us on lots of different channels. Leave us a review if you haven't. And if you want any help, hello@winningwithshopify.com. Send us an email. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back again on Tuesday with another Tea Break Talks.
Yoast have just launched something that is absolutely game-changing. Their new AI brand insights tool is now in beta, and it's built to help you track your brand's visibility, sentiment, and credibility across AI platforms like ChatGPT. As search expands from Google to AI answers, this tool gives you a clear view of how your brand shows up, combining sentiment, visibility, and mentions. It's designed for marketers who want enterprise-level insight without the enterprise price, less than $400 per year. And here's the best bit. Yoast's Black Friday sale is now on. So starting November 27th, you'll get a 30% discount off all annual plans, including the new Yoast SEO AI Plus. Head to yoast.com to learn more and grab your discount.